I'm biased. I think infectious diseases is the most interesting part of medicine. I just think it is fascinating how much it changes and how something can just completely change everything. A tiny microscopic virus particle can affect the entire world's economy. I actually went into medicine because infectious diseases is the most interesting subject that I'm aware of. And the way that it can be not fair. I mean, it really, you can have all these grand plans. Like, look at 2020. We all had grand plans in January, and all of our grand plans have gone kerplat. I mean, it's awful. And so how can we do it better? How can we prepare better? How can we control better? How can we, help make things more fair by reducing the impact of infectious diseases? That's why I love infectious diseases. COVID is interesting because it came about very similar to how SARS came about back in the early 2000s. But SARS, while it caused widespread difficulties in Asia, it never really impacted the United States the way COVID-19 has, SARS-CoV-2. So this has been a very interesting development to watch how this disease has been acting like pandemic flu with widespread infection and higher mortality rates, and seeing how we respond to that and all the systems we've put in place before this to try to be ready for this and how they've worked. Treatment of COVID-19 is still very fluid. It's still changing constantly. There aren't any officially approved treatments for COVID-19. This is a disease that's only 9 months old, and so we're trying to move very quickly with constantly changing data. So earlier in the epidemic, we were using hydroxychloroquine, realizing that it was still an experimental treatment. I was involved a lot with taking care of the actual patients who had COVID and helping them understand the knowns and the unknowns about treatment, but also trying to do the best thing that I could for every single patient at the time with the information that we had available. For a new disease, we have to evaluate the treatments to see what treatments actually work and which ones don't. The best way to do this, the best tool to use to determine if a treatment works or not, is a clinical trial.
Clinical trials are very important at First Health, but especially in a disease like COVID-19, we were able to participate in the Mayo Clinic study using donated plasma of patients that have had COVID in an effort to help treat patients that were in our hospital with COVID. And then we were invited by the NIH to participate in a trial that uses concentrated immunoglobulin with COVID antibodies in an effort to try to treat patients. To date, we haven't had a lot of double-blind, placebo-controlled trials. It's been more subjective. It's been more observational studies. We tried this. We think that things have gotten better and patients have better outcomes. This trial actually looks at 2 trial arms, one that gets a placebo, one with concentrated immunoglobulin, still getting remdesivir, still getting Decadron, still getting standard of care treatment that'll be able to identify, did this intervention really make a difference in the impact of the patients that were in the treatment arm? We were the first hospital in the country to enroll in this study and enroll the first patient. So we actually got a call from Dr. Fauci congratulating us on being able to do that.
Enrolled in the First Health Moore Regional Hospital in Pinehurst. That's really terrific.
At times, being a relatively small healthcare system is an advantage to us because we're more nimble. We're able to bring our institutional review board together. They can review something, and then the process from there goes to a signature, and we're able to start enrolling patients within a day after that occurs. In some of the academic centers, there's many more levels in the approval process.
For infectious disease and First Health, we really want to grow. We want to do more than we're even doing now, and also to continue to meet the challenge of COVID-19.